it's Tommy from Tech Nexus, and thanks for joining me on the last video for this week. A wet and windy Friday here in Melbourne, but let's have a look at the Dynamo samples that come with Advanced Steel 2020. Now, there already is a portal frame script as a sample here in Dynamo, and it is a little bit more advanced than my one. So my one is really just an intro to users on just basically making the basics for it. But when you look at the one that's included here, we still have the input values, and it does talk about the points are very similar to what we did. I did a range rather than a sequence. And it does talk about, it's got some curves in here and points, but when we run it, I'll just give that a second because our Advanced Steel model is going to populate as well. So you can see here they've got the standard sort of members here, plus we have the purlins on the roof, and there's cross bracing as well. And then when we do look at the inputs, you can see here number of bays between bracings and number of frames. So this is a slider. So if we change that to 10 or 12, let's go. And let's put 3 in here and then run it. Okay, and you can see that we've got the 3. As much as it is a good script, a lot of these are all set up within Advanced Steel anyway. So the purlins command, or maybe the rafters here as well, you'd probably redo them anyway. So, but it does give you good insight into what you can do with some of the portal frame macros. And then as we scroll out, you can see here there's a whole lot more in regards to placing the purlins and how they want to place them and all that kind of stuff. So spend a bit of time looking through it, and hopefully you get a better understanding on what kind of things you can do with it. So I'm just going to do a new drawing here as well, and let's open up. Just cancel that, close this one out. So they've also got a bridge script in here. So when we do run it, again, same thing. When you do your own scripts, you're going to come in here and just have a section just dedicated for user inputs. But you can see here, this is the kind of bridge that they've got. Okay, so the one that I showed you yesterday, very similar to that. It's not as detailed as having the bracing in there, but I do have a curve on it. So you can see here the working range area that they've got here. Like I said yesterday, go to the geometry scaling under the settings, change it to large, go apply, and then that should disappear next time you run it as well. Again, very similar top and bottom beams, the lateral beams, and then ultimately you get that. Close this one off. And then the circular tower, I guess it could be beneficial for some people. I haven't really seen too many projects like this, but again, it gives you insight into placing the points and having circular references in there. And there's a very similar one if you're a big user of Format. I think there's a similar kind of script in there as well. So I haven't tested it with 2020, but whether this script is going to work inside Revit, I don't think it's going to. Last time I tried that, it didn't like it because Revit works a little bit differently. So I don't think you're going to be able to get the points. You're going to have to probably come back and work maybe off the levels or even off grids maybe. But Some of the code could probably be reused, but as far as the last time I checked, the code here is dedicated just to advanced steel and cannot be reused in Revit. So you'd probably have to have two scripts, and then keep in mind you'd probably have to do something in the file name to say whether it's for Revit, whether it's for metric, or even a maybe even put a version at the end of it as well. So there's another script here for the beams. So it looks like they've got a different code block, which might be new. I haven't come across that recently, so it might be a new way to put in all of your different members instead of doing it the way that I did it with my tutorial. So that's kind of interesting. And if I run that, okay, so let's see what it does. So it looks like it might be giving a tapered beam. So it looks like that one might be there. So it looks like it's all different. Beam set, section, create section, compound beams. Okay, so it looks like it's just giving an example of doing different kind of beams in there. So again, have a look at the, if I just close this off, have a look at the samples in here. They might be of help to you. So there are a few other ones here: circus, a dome, a revolve surface, and a saddle surface. Have a look through them, familiarize yourself with all of the code, and then have a look and see how you can apply all of these elements to some of your projects, and then spend a bit of time. I always recommend to my students, if we're doing training, that once you do the training to sit down, you know, for half an hour during your lunch break or something, and just go through and navigate through the scripts or do the training through the books or whatever, just to familiarize yourself, because the more you use it, the more you'll get into it, and the easier it could make some of your jobs. And then that way you can template some of your projects, so that way if you need to redo the same project again, you can just rerun the script, make a few changes to the values, and then run the script, and that can be the second project. So hopefully it's given you a bit of insight into Dynamo and Advanced Steel for the week. Just jump into it. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't. Please do subscribe to the channel, and excuse me, click on the bell icon to get daily notifications of all of my videos. And I'll see you next week for some 2020 products. See you later.